Hey guys, Tyler here, back again to talk more about growing in intimacy with Jesus. Uh, I just keep getting such awesome things that the Lord is talking to me about. I wonder if people are like, "How do you think of all this stuff?" And the answer is, I don't. I have just been sitting with Jesus, and He gives me the most amazing things to talk about. Just an hour ago, I was sitting down like, I don't know what to talk about today. Well, I got it. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today, uh, I think we're getting into topics that people, First Corinthians chapter 2 says that to those who don't have the Spirit, the things of the Spirit are foolishness. Um, this might seem like foolishness to some people, but to those who are in the Spirit, I think this is going to be riveting. So here we go. So I've just been thinking about when you are looking for, we're all looking for answers. We're looking for meaning. We're looking for things that we need in our physical lives, like healing and understanding, progress. We want to move forward with relationships. We just want like the next good thing. We want to get into the good things of life. We want to get out of the bad things. How do we do it, right? So the Lord has been showing me that the reason why He doesn't give us I'm sorry. When I was in seminary, I used to observe that the seminarians I was there studying with, it's like they wanted to put Jesus on an operating table and dissect him, pick him apart, and understand all the things about him and about life that they can understand from him. They wanted to put him on that operating table, but Jesus wanted to be at a banqueting table. Jesus wants to be with us. For him, it's about the relationship, right? He's the king. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He is omniscient. He's got it all figured out, right? And he's with the Father who has it literally, like Jesus, I imagine Jesus, I don't know if this is right or not, but because he's in a human body, I imagine he has access to all things, but he's not knowing them all at once because, like a human, he has to be focused on something, whereas the Father is just fully present in all things at all times. Like he doesn't have human limitation. I don't know if that's right or not, but I say all that to say that God has it all figured out. And if you're the king who has it all figured out, obviously there's nothing we can bring to the table that like adds to I don't know, his experience of existence, right? Except the relationship. He wants the connection. That's why he's made the whole thing, right? So we want the information. We want the goods, right? We want we want the relationship too, but like we're in need and he's not, right? So we want to understand like what's coming, like what how can I prepare, like how can I recover from bad things, there's all the things, right, that we want. But Jesus is like, just sit down and let's have him. He's not in a rush, he's like, let's enjoy each other's company, we'll figure that out, right? But we're like, Jesus, seriously, like this is pressing, I have this need, I need to understand. But what the Lord was showing me today, see if you guys just sit in this. Let me talk to you about this. Please take time and sit in this. It's so amazing. It will change your life, okay? Jesus is not looking to give us the information. He's not willing to be put on a operating table and be picked apart so we can gather all the info. And I used to think that was because he just, like, we can't be trusted with all the info, in the sense that if he gave it all to us when we weren't ready for it, it's like giving the kids the car keys, like when they're 4 years old, they're going to wreck the car and they're going to get hurt, right? Like we're not going to use it the right way. We can't be trusted with it. But I think it's more than that. I think that the reason why it has to be in the relationship is because the information can only be understood and believed in the relationship. So, in other words, if he told you the real answer to the questions we have without being in the place with him where you're in that intimate place where you are knowing it through union with him, you first of all wouldn't understand what he's really like. You'd be like, how can that can't be the right answer? But also you wouldn't believe him, because it's only in the place where you're with him and you're knowing him that you can even believe that the real answer is the answer, right? So on the operating table, if you just picked out the truth that you're looking for, you would think that is not the truth, right? Like, that's wrong, because it's only in him, in his reality, that we are in his spirit together, abiding in him, that the truth even makes sense. Not the truth, like, because it's not the truth as we expect it to be or understand it to be. It's as it really is, right? So, for instance, when Naaman, I think Aramaean, the general from Aram, when he came to the prophet to find out how he could be healed of his leprosy, because he was not in the spirit that Elisha was in, the spirit of the Lord, he was insulted and disgusted by the answer the Lord gave of how he could be healed. Go wash yourself in the Jordan River. Naaman was like, that's a gross, dinky little river. Like, if all I had to do was wash myself in the river 7 times, I would have done it, in the country where I'm from, and I would have been healed a long time ago. Moron, right? Like he, because he was not in the spirit, he could not accept the answer that was the real answer, But, like, the guy he was with was like, well, if the Lord asked you to do this crazy thing, like climb Mount Everest, right? And, like, that you probably wouldn't even survive this great challenge, like, you'd probably try it, right? So this is just a, like, silly little thing. Why not try it and see if it works, right? He tries it, boom, his whole life has changed, because in obeying the Lord, doing what he said, the Lord was in the act. He was with him in that act, and through doing it, he discovered not only did he get healed, the thing he wanted, but he discovered his whole life was changed. He enters into the spirit of the Lord and realizes, like, God is real, right? I don't know why, but the Lord put this example into my head. It's not, I don't think it's a real example, but it just, like, illustrated to me how we have to be in the Spirit in order to receive the answers to all the questions that we have that we're looking for. This is the example he gave me. And again, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's just cool idea. Helps us illustrate. So when Jesus was going into the wilderness with 5,000 men, probably like 10,000 people if you include women and children, right? All these people, he's going into the wilderness. What if he had thought before he set out, right, with all these people, oh man, if we go out into the middle of nowhere, like, they're all gonna starve, right? Like they're not gonna be able to take enough food. Like, they're gonna be in big trouble. I'm not gonna go, right? Now, of course, Jesus wouldn't think that way because he was already in the Spirit, right? And the Lord would have given him the answer, like, I'm going to provide, right? But let's say it was you or me instead, right? Those who are learning how to be in the Spirit, right? And so, the Lord, let's say, though, like, people were starting to realize, man, when, like, Tyler gets in that zone, like God speaks to us through him, right? And it could be you too. And so let's just follow him out into the wilderness. And so the Lord is like, lead the people out into the wilderness where you can have some time alone with them. They won't be on their iPhones. They won't be distracted, right? They'll just really be able to take in the Spirit that you are imparting to them, right? What if I was like, Lord, I can't do that. Like, there'll be no way for them to, like, get food or get anything. Like, that's crazy, right? See, the Lord might say to me, Tyler, don't worry about it. I'll provide. And I might be like, well, Lord, how are you going to provide? That's crazy. Like, what are we going to, like, I don't know, like, bring our bows and arrows and shoot a bunch of, like, how could you possibly provide for that many people? There's no way to provide there. And he's like, Tyler, just come and be with me. Trust me, it's going to work out. See, if I needed to have the answer, what if the answer was, I'm going to multiply? Like, there's this one kid, he's bringing, like, what was it, 5 loaves and 2 fish? Don't worry, you're going to lift it up to me in faith and in the glory of my presence. I'm just going to multiply it and feed everyone. What if I had never heard of that before, right? And I'd be like, I'm crazy. Like, that's just, like, it's like the pepperoni pizza from last night. It's indigestion. There's no way that God is telling me to lead 10,000 people into the middle of nowhere and trust that food's going to come out of nowhere. That's net. See, if you're not in the Spirit, if you're not in Him, then those thoughts seem like nonsense. But if you are in Him, it all makes sense, because you're literally knowing the one who is able to do those things, and you're knowing what He's knowing. You're feeling the energy and the power, the creative power of God, and in His Spirit, when you're actually in His Spirit, you're like, oh yeah, he'll just create it. Like, He's the creator. I'm knowing the creator. I'm feeling His creative power and energy. Like, yeah, He'll just make more bread. See, it's only in the knowing of Him that the answers even make sense. And so, He says in 3 of the Gospels, Jesus says, don't worry about what you'll say. If you get arrested and people, demand that you explain the things you've been doing, right? Don't worry about what you'll say, because when the moment comes, you'll be given the words. And that is just the way it is in all spheres of life in the Lord, right? He says, because it won't even be you speaking. It'll be the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. So, see, it's only in that place where you are in the Spirit that the Father will just provide. Why doesn't He give it to you beforehand? Because He doesn't feel like that's a priority. He feels like it's a priority for us to know Him. And that's what I am trying to convey this morning. This is so amazing, guys. If you can actually not just hear the information that I'm saying, but wrestle with grasping what it would be like to live in the reality that I am talking about. What if we didn't live out of trying to have the answers in the bank account of our minds, right? Like, oh, I know how to handle this situation because I've thought it through, I've understood it, I've grasped it. What if instead of living out of that place, we lived out of the place of knowing Him? Because see, in knowing Him, you have His thoughts. I'm not talking about knowing about Him. I'm not talking about knowing the facts about who Jesus is. That would not be enough, right? Better to know the stuff that you need to know in order to function in your life than to know about a person who knew the things. I'm talking about being in Him. Because when you know Him in the New Testament way, the born-again spirit-to-spirit way, you're knowing Him the way He knows Himself. His thoughts are yours. You are in Him. You are communing with Him. So when you need a thought, He's just going to provide the thought. When you need to know how to defend yourself, the defense will be there. When you need to know how to, provide for your family, or like, I need healing now. This person that I love needs healing. They have a destiny. They have a calling. They must receive it, Lord, right? And I need the method through which I'm going to provide. What's the drug that I'm going to get from the doctor that's going to heal them? And the Lord's like, no, I am the one. I have the healing. Get to the moment where it's actually needed. It'll come. the Lord said this. So a year ago, the Lord told, or not quite a year, last September, the Lord's like, Tyler, you're going back into ministry. Get ready. Like, you're leaving your job. You are moving back to New Hampshire, and you're going back into full-time ministry, and it's starting with fathers, but it's going to be a ministry of leading people into the intimate place with me. Okay? And so I believed him, right? But he said this thing to me. He gave me it every year. He gives me like sort of a word for the year, like that. It's like a guiding light for the year, and it's amazing how it all happens, right? But one thing he said to me last September, I just thought of when I was planning to do this video. I just think it's so amazing. Listen to this, okay? This is what he said. He said, oh, sorry, I should have decided where to begin. But how about this? The minute, no, there's things that maybe I don't want to say. He was talking to me about how the right people are going to get involved, the right things are going to happen. He said, I'm keeping this ship on course. I will call you to make decisions at times that will be bold and seem sudden and unexpected. That's because there are many angles and aspects I am weaving together, and the intricacy of what I am building is beyond anyone's expectations. Flow with me now. Let my presence and my leading be what you trust. Be brave, live by faith, stay in the flow. There is more than enough. Now listen to this part. He said, I am doing a great work. Don't be possessive. Now listen to this. This is amazing. He said, don't fall into the trap of being the expert. You know, when you go into ministry, like, you feel like you have to be the one. I've got the answers, and that's why people should. Why should they come to listen to me if I'm not the one that has it figured out? Isn't it? But Jesus is like, don't be the expert. Listen to what he says. I'm not blessing you because you have it all figured out. I'm blessing you because I love you, and you have a willing heart, and I have a great purpose that you are willing to walk with me into. I'm the expert. This is Jesus talking. You're my willing bride who loves what I love and loves joining me in the becoming. Gosh. It's so good, guys. That is so good. You know, you don't have to be the one that has the answers. You don't have to figure it out. Jesus is real. We are really in him. When you grow comfortable with being able to live a life where you're not the expert, but you still are confident. You still know this thing is going to work out. See, we're not victims of this world. Like, who knows what's going to happen? Like, it's all out of control, and there are evil forces that are overpowering the good guys. And, you know, how could this possibly work out? We're not victims, but we're also not experts. We're in a relationship with the one who we are confident we know he has the answers. And I'm not confident in one that's out there and I'm trusting he's going to come through whenever I need him. I don't know. It's not like that. I am knowing him. We are knowing him. And it's because of the intimate, that place of like, whoa, you're here and you're good. And I am knowing and feeling the reality of that. I don't need to know the answers. You know, I was talking last Friday, I think, about being children of God, not adults of God. We are children of God. We are growing into the adult version. We're becoming mature, Christ with Christ. We're going to be a mature bride that can know the things that he knows and do the things that he does and walk with him throughout all of eternity. But we're still children. You know, my children, sometimes they want to know the answers. They're like, Daddy, what are we doing? Like, where are we going? What are we going to do today? What's happening? You know? But sometimes I'm like, guys, don't worry about it. Like, we're going to have a great time. And because I am a reliable, faithful father, they trust me. They just let it go. Because why? Because they're with me, because they know it's all going to work out, and because we're having a good time together. And that is the life that, as a father, sometimes I want to tell my kids, like, this is what we're going to do today, because I want them to be excited, right? But sometimes, for whatever reason, maybe there isn't time. Maybe we're going to go do something that they would be a little nervous about if, I told them beforehand. Maybe I want it to be a surprise because I know it's going to be amazing, and it will be more fun for them if they don't know. Maybe I just don't need to tell them why I'm not going to tell them. Because of the relationship we have, they're going to trust me, and they're going to be okay with not knowing because they know me and they trust me. That is what a father wants, is to have a relationship with his kids where we're together, we're having a good time, and that's enough right now because we're all confident it's going to work out. I've got a plan, right? That is what the Father is looking for, guys. And I'm saying all that to say, will you bravely and boldly go deeper today into that place where you are trusting Him that being with Him is enough? He will come through. He's got it all in hand. And we just get to enjoy living life with Him as we walk into that unfolding. Awesome. All right, so let's do that for a minute. We're going to actually sit with Jesus for a minute, asking Him about that, opening our hearts to Him about that, and then we'll launch out into the rest of our day doing that. Amen. Yeah, I just want to finish by saying that is a reality that God is looking for us to live with Him in. That is actually very much a big part of eternal reality. The union with Him, where we are living knowing Him and having such peace and rest and confidence no matter what is going on around us in that reality. He's got this, and we've got this because we are in Him. That's awesome. I hope that that really speaks to you guys and touches you. I'm going to go live in that. I hope that you are too, and hopefully I'll be back again soon with more deep thoughts from the Lord. Keep it flowing, Lord. Thank you. See you guys.